Hey guys, and welcome to the debut of the Behind the Counter podcast from the Insane Game locations in Queensbury, New York, and in Clearwater, Florida. We're excited to bring this podcast to you from people who work for the store, who have a passion for video games, for football, for all the different things in life. Make sure to check us out on Facebook, give us a like, give us a follow so you can keep up with our program and what we're doing, and make sure you ask us questions. Watch the program, give it a like, give it a share, give it a follow. Let us know. We want to hear from you, our audience. And now I'm going to turn it over to my commandant, the commander-in-chief, El Jefe, the gigantic cheese himself.
Thanks, Dave.
Mr. Dan.
Thanks, Dave. I just want to quick give an idea and a vision of where I think the show and the podcast idea came up with. And for people who know us for over the years, know exactly how this podcast is going to be. I think we do a lot of, we're not a normal video game store. We're not a normal video game company. I mean, we're one of the only stores out there that I know of that has pretty much a full-size basketball court in the store that plays 2v2 basketball games in the store while we're open. I mean, we've done Nerf gun battles in the store, and may I say we had quite the lineup of guns available for Nerf gun wars.
All while providing excellent service. Need you never worry.
Oh, there's never been a complaint. But we've gone out and we've had fun with destroying video game consoles and games out in the parking lot. It's something we don't like. There's a moral reason to it or not a moral reason to it, or whatever the case may be. We had a game pretty much called Disc Toss, which was pretty much taking target practice with CDs that were defective in the store, and that went for a little while, and we had some fun with that. Caused for some awkward moments when people came in the store, but
broken CD pieces all around.
I mean, we have 5 belts over here that we all compete for throughout the year between Call of Duty championships and fighting championships and Overwatch champion and whatever the case may be. And we discussed many topics here behind the counter that when customers come in, they give us a good laugh of rather not whatever it is we're talking about or whatever it is we're doing here in the store. I think we have fun with it. We mock each other, we attack each other with jokes, and at the end of the day, we all go home very happy and not mad at each other. So I think that's where we came up with this idea of taking a show that everyone, when they come in, seems to enjoy whatever it is we're talking about or doing, and putting it out there for viewers that know us and listeners that may not know us and may eventually get to know us over the next couple of shows and time we do this. I think people will very much enjoy it. And, I think all of us have been with the company for a little bit of a history from 2+ more years. So I think over the time, or every episode we do, over the time, you'll hear some backstories of every single one of us that you'll eventually learn over the time. Over the years that we've been here. I mean, I've been here forever. Mike has been here for a long time. Dave and Tyler have been here as well for quite a while. And I think over the time, we're not going to go over a bio of each one of us right now, but I'm sure over the time you'll hear about us and situations or stories or whatever the case that will come up that we've occurred over the time.
Before we go any further, I would like to also introduce some of our featured personalities and personas that you see in the store. The manager of the Insane Games location in Queensbury, New York, Mike. Welcome to the podcast,
Thank you, Dave.
sir.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Very, very good. I would also like to introduce all the way, while we're here freezing in upstate New York, in Clearwater, Florida, we've got Tyler.
I'm the guy that you're either going to love or you're going to hate.
So the LeVar Ball of Behind the Counter.
And of course, we got Dave here.
Yep.
So, Dave, the personality of Dave. We're going to let him lead the way.
So to begin the program, something that many customers in our area will know, every Sunday you come in the store and at least one of us has the entirety of our hand jammed into our mouth screaming about a quarterback or some other player because we have an in-store fantasy football league, of which I would like to mention we are graced by the presence of our 2017 champion,
The champ is in the house, baby. Look no further than the champ.
Make sure, Dave, we recognize two other former champions right here.
Two times.
Two-time, by the way, as well.
Getting into the two-time champion bull crap. Let's look at the current champion. We're not talking about the past. We're not talking about the future. It's the current champion. And might I add, I'd like to thank Vic Bortles for leading me to my first champion, as he did lead the Jaguars today to their first playoff win of the season. And I said first because it's not going to be their last.
So, Tyler, you're saying that Blake Bortles is going to be on your draft list for fantasy football next year?
I would consider it. I would consider it greatly.
A non-committal.
I am coming for Le'Veon Bell and Todd Gurley, just out of spite for some bottom feeder of the fantasy football league this year.
Let's make sure we give a backstory here that people may not know, is that man over there is also a two-time champion, and this man right here is also a two-time champion as well. And
why are we talking about the past?
Because I think you need to explain greatness, and greatness comes with how many titles you have.
And the greatness,
when you're looking
you have to enjoy the greatness of the present.
And while we acknowledge that you are the 2017 champion, there's also two other champions here with multiple titles attached to their name, and that's Mike and myself.
And some people may
It's funny
acknowledge
because the show is full of champions, but there's a non-champion sitting right over there.
This guy. I have won the annual blow it and blow it bad and blow it big time. 2 years, not consecutively, by the way. I've gotten the first round draft pick. Of course, the one thing I don't want, because I then sit there, you get the stupid thing pops up and it's like, you are now picking, and I'm like, my lists!
Who did you pick first this year, Dave?
This year, it was the bust of Fantasy 2017, David Johnson.
It is quite the
That went
shame.
pretty well.
He did super well. The first 6 seconds he went on the field, he gave Carson Palmer a thumbs up, and or was it Andy Dalton? Who's the quarterback of that team? I don't know, and I don't really care. But you know, and then suddenly I get a notification on my phone, and it says, "Oh, David Johnson has been injured," and I'm like, "Great. This is going to go wonderful."
All season long, you kept him on your bench.
So, Dave, speaking of football, how do you feel about the Bills getting jagged off today?
We'll actually get to that as soon as I don't want to bury the lead here on the fantasy football discussion in case anybody else would like to share any highlights, any lowlights, any experiences from the fantasy.
Well, I think, Dave, one of the low parts here was the fact that you made it into the playoffs. And not only finished third, but was the second seed into the playoffs with the least amount of points scored. Like, that deceives all morals of fantasy football.
Yes!
You got in the playoffs.
Most ridiculous things I've ever seen.
The last place, had more points scored than you, and yet you made the playoffs and I didn't. I don't understand that. I can't put words to it.
0-10. 0-10.
No. I started out 0-10 and went 3-10 by the end. And also, by the way, he did not finish in last place.
My thumb hurts when I have to scroll down to see where your standing was.
Ooh. I do positively love fantasy football because it is the one time that I will come in third place and be successful in a physical contact sport. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Your boy, the nerd, took third place with a team that couldn't get out of its own way, including my picking people to replace the people that kept getting injured. Aaron Rodgers, you did me dirty, and I will never forgive you. And that's
that. I'm the only one. I had Delvin Cook. He got knocked out the second week of the season.
How about my man Ezekiel Elliott?
So that's my bad.
I mean, Dalvin Cook got knocked out. I mean, I lost by less than 3 points like 4 times throughout the season. It was crazy. I don't understand what happened.
I think I blew you out by 50 points.
Mike was the only person that I actually lost to the first 8 weeks of the season, maybe.
Speaking of, I think somebody else lost to me in here.
So.
Someone in week 9, perhaps?
Who are you talking to?
The champion. What happened in week 9?
And then what?
This is a guy right here that was thinking about quitting last season because he finished what?
I needed time to reflect, just like
He thought about quitting.
A rebuilding process.
It's a rebuilding mentally and physically. It was too much for me, and I thought, is this really what I want to do?
By the way,
and then I took time, and I came back stronger than ever.
I like that critical thinking in life. Many things in a person's life will make them have that. Their job, their family, finances. Fantasy football is one thing that will cause many people to take a good, hard look at what they do with their time. And 90% of the time, it is fantasy football.
And for people who don't know the league, we are very, very serious about fantasy football. It's a $50 buy-in. There's corruption, there's collusion, there's backstabbing, there's deal between other people to make sure this other person doesn't go to that team. I mean, we're talking about. I mean, we had people in our league that are very, very, very dirty. I mean, the Sanchez
What
for
are you
one.
looking?
Okay, Mike over here is not a clean player either. Don't let him think he is.
My team is based after Aaron Hernandez. So
The collusion on the Joneses. I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of people that are in our league that are very questionable.
Rest in peace.
Rest in power.
Rest in power, young king.
I think we all can agree, though. We all can agree that a player by the name of Jeremy, we won't disclose his last
Can we
name,
get a moment of silence for him?
is the biggest flop in fantasy football I have ever seen. AK right up against with Peyton Manning. Jeremy makes the playoffs twice, championship game twice, and completely falls apart. Has made the playoffs every year since joining and just can't get it done.
This
He just
season,
can't get it done.
This season, he pulled a famous first to worst. It was a shame. It was a shame.
If you ain't first, you're last, boys.
Rest in peace.
I did sit there at one point and I gave him a nod and go, what a shame. It just happened once again. And it was a pretty close match. I mean, he had it where really he should have beat Tyler in the last game. He went projected like 8 more points than you. Heading into Tyler had one guy left and he had 2. And Jeremy couldn't get it done. Complete collapse, as far as I'm concerned. This is a
Le'Veon Bell
complete
stabbed him in the
collapse.
back.
Just he went in and just right down. he lost to Mike. He lost to Mike 2 years ago or 3 years ago to Mike in the championship
in the Super
game.
Bowl.
Lost to me in the
great.
playoffs, and then has now lost. So really, if you think about it, he's lost to Mike. I don't know who did he play the first year. I forget. I don't know who it
I think it
was.
was me.
But 2 years ago, he lost to Mike. Can't be happy with that. Then he loses to me last year. Can't be happy with that. And now he's lost to Tyler in the championship. And he certainly can't be happy with that. So 3 people he probably doesn't want to lose to, he's lost to in the last 3 years.
Germ Dog, I believe that you can come back from this. I'm not so sure
I
about my
don't.
constituents.
I don't
Choke
know.
artist.
Morally, if I'm Jeremy right now, morally, I'm just shattered. I just have made it
crushed.
to the Super Bowl twice. I have been crushed twice. I mean, the first time he made the Super Bowl, he got crushed. Barely showed up. I think he got, what, 50 points?
So he did a
Utter
Panthers
destruction.
versus the Broncos.
It was awful.
It was, if anyone sports fan watched that Super Bowl, like I and my nerdy friends did, we actually turned it off. It was so painful to watch. Just couldn't.
It was awful.
Are there any other points, slapbacks, things that we would
As
like
long
to say?
as we know who the real champ is this year, that's all that matters.
The only thing I can say is it's a shame the listeners are coming in about fantasy football after it's been completed. Because now we go, it's the off season.
I agree. It would have been so
Oh.
much better to see Ian go 0-10, me come back with
I did not go
Forward,
0-10.
and
Yeah, you did.
and Philadelphia defense and Steelers defense, the debacle I had between picking who and just
I am
coming back
great
and
at taking a
destroying
team,
bird.
rebuilding it, and making it with a charge at the later end of the season. And I did that, and unfortunately, I just couldn't get the luck with me. You can't beat bad luck. And that's all what it was. I took the team. I brought new players in. They just bad luck. I would go
You're just
up. I got 80, 90 points every week, and I would go up against someone who got 100 and something points for the first time in their life.
Sounds like a lot of
It's 3-11, not 3-12.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here, let
Cue
me.
up a picture of
Come on,
Prime
Dave.
Jordan for him real quick.
Can we get a untap for
3-11, by the way.
Can you say it for me? What's that?
Stunt pass.
Can you see that? It's 1-2.
Put over-
2-time.
Cowboy.
And by the way, I did not finish last.
Whoa, Dad.
We'll save that spot for Pete Jones and Dave Rizzo.
Oh.
A little shout out to those guys right there. They got last place.
So in the
Pay your
future,
dues.
oh yeah, that's right. The champ don't get
Dues
paid
are
until
due.
everyone's dues. Which, by the way, I need to just go.
See ya.
Yeah, speaking of dudes, Dave.
If you guys have any football hijinks and stuff like that, we would love to hear about it in the comments below. Have you got that one season where the one person blows it all year, gets into the postseason, and just smashes it out of the park? Anything like related to those things? I know a lot of people have good fantasy stories. Although our league, and I'm very happy about this, because of the buy-in we have, we don't really have a punishment per se, other than the fact that all of us then just publicly ridicule this person who loses as much as possible. Fortunately, it was none of the four of us. But in the future, you will see some ugly, ugly statements made about each other. So,
Not pretty.
current events, speaking of which, in the NFL, some teams have made the playoffs for the first time in many, many years. Some teams have, for many, many years, cheated and gotten into the playoffs again. And other
Tuck rule.
teams... What's that?
The tuck rule.
And some teams got into the playoffs and have lost the people that have made them contendable in the playoffs. Looking at you, Eagles. Don't know what you're going to do with Nick Foles, the guy you gave up and then took
Saint
back.
Nick is dripping wet.
By the way, if you notice a little bit of anger here, it's because Dave went in with high hopes today for the Buffalo Bills. A little shout out there to them making the playoffs. Congratulations.
No one circles the wagon like the Buffalo Bills.
Dave went in with all this excitement the other day. He came in, oh, the Bills made it, the Bills made it, the Bills made it. The next time he comes through the door, unfortunately, out the door they go.
Who
3
saw that one
points.
coming? Who saw that one
Sure.
coming?
Man, who do you even like? Who do you even like in football? Nobody knows. Here's the giant question mark.
Who, me?
Yeah, no, the other bald guy sitting there.
Whoa!
Whoa!
No need to get hostile.
One day we need to get a graphic for that. We need to just, every time that word is thrown about.
I do not have favorites.
He's a Raiders fan. Can we... Or Raider Nation
Deep down, he
picture?
loves
Super
the
Bowl.
Raiders.
I like the Raiders. I like the Bears. There's a few teams I root for.
Seahawks. I like them.
The Harbaughs.
But let's go back to
He's
the
a
disappointment.
fair weather
Let's go
fan.
back to the disappointment of the Bills. Okay,
Off
who
subject here.
Who they benched Tyrod Taylor once, and then they played him, and they bench him again throughout the season. Then he goes on a high again, and now all of a sudden he's their quarterback when he wasn't their quarterback. And at one point they want to get rid of him, and now they end up keeping him. And then he ends up making this turnaround, and they makes it into the playoffs. And now everyone's happy about the Bills.
And by the way, thank you, Andy Dalton. I was also one of the many Bills fans who donated to your fund. Money well given back to you making Joe Flacco and those stanky leg Falcons.
It was kind of a waste
They're
now
Ravens.
that you think
Ravens.
about it, though.
Ravens. Thank you. Bird teams. Caw-caw!
And can you not? I don't know who to get to the game for today. The game that was just played earlier.
Yeah.
I don't know who the quarterback's name is. The backup quarterback for the
Nathan
Bills.
Peterman.
But can
The
you not
worst
feel?
quarterback in NFL
Can you not?
history.
I mean, I actually feel bad for the guy.
He has
He
more
threw 5 picks
interceptions
one
than you.
game.
It doesn't matter.
No.
You got to think about the weight that's being put on your shoulders right now. With a minute 14 left in a game where every Bills fan is watching this game at full capacity right now, and this guy comes out. First off, you got to imagine all the Bills fans just go when he's coming out because of the history he's had. But can you imagine what's on that guy's poor shoulders right now? Coming out
You know what
with
he's got to do?
he
gotta
needs a
stack
touchdown.
up.
It's 4-3 with a minute 14 left. He actually got the first down and threw a decent play after that,
He can ball to Jalen Ramsey.
and then right down with the interception at the end there, which I'm not sure was his fault. I'm not sure if the receiver didn't get in front of the ball. I mean, you could argue it wasn't his fault, but Bill's season wound up short right there.
It wound up
I don't know.
short.
Jalen Ramsey is the best corner in the AFC right now, I think, personally. And when you just throw the ball his way, it's 50-50.
Yep.
I mean, I don't care if you're Tom Brady. I don't care if you're Nathan Peterman. It's a tough throw to throw that way.
I do want to say that this is the first year the Bills have had new coach Andy McDermott, and he took us to the playoffs, albeit the wild card round where there were so many caveats and asterisks to getting into the playoffs that, to be honest, I had to make a spreadsheet, and then as I was watching last Sunday, I was like, okay, so this happened, and then move over here, and this needs to happen, and these points need to be here. It was fun for me, and probably the Microsoft suite using all those spreadsheets, but it was good that since 1999, I was 10. The last time the Bills went to the playoffs. The starting quarterback, Tyrod Taylor, was 7. 7 years old the last time the Bills went to the playoffs. It does not make me feel old because here I am hosting a very successful podcast, and there he is losing in the first round of the wild card playoffs. Who's losing now, sir?
Well, just like the Bills.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's the Bills' fault. I mean, when you can't stop the run with Michael Vick Bortles.
Oh my God.
I mean,
Whoa.
I
He didn't
mean,
pick him up till the last game anyway.
it doesn't matter. Like
He was on the free agency where he belonged because he's trash.
Taking the Jaguars somewhere special this season. I feel it,
And to be
especially with their
honest-
defense. That's being serious.
overall
When they
here,
come
I think
across
we
the
have
Patriots, they're done.
we have a very historic week here in the NFL. I mean, the Bills made the playoffs. They're out of the playoffs. Historic right there.
Yep.
We have the disaster that's going on in New England, which I don't know if any of us here are New England fans, but I mean,
Nope, hate them with a passion.
I think Bill Belichick is done.
He's
I think he's done.
Wrong.
I think he's
Really?
done.
Not done.
I think he's done in New England.
Wrong.
Here, let me point this out. You have an owner who's given the lead or the team to Bill Belichick, who has delivered for what, 15 plus years? I forget how many exactly. 15 maybe. And the guy sets up. Tom Brady's done. I mean, maybe 2 years if he doesn't get injured. 3. Okay, but he's just about done.
The
But not only
TB12
that,
system.
the one thing you can ask for out of your head coach is to make your team where the future is set. And they bring in this guy, okay, who's great, who
What's his name, Dan?
Jimmy Garoppolo, whatever his last name is.
Garoppolo.
You try saying it a million times.
Jimmy Galapagos, the flip-flopper.
I say it a different way every time. But either way, you bring
said Jimmy
Jimmy in
G.
here. I'm trying to get through that without saying his name, by the way.
I saw it.
You bring in Jimmy. You bring in Jimmy.
You sound like a kindergartner.
You bring in Jimmy, and he covers for Tom Brady when Tom Brady had to be benched for a couple weeks and does well. And now you got to get rid of him. And you get rid of him for the sole reason of the owner saying so because Tom Brady went to the owner. If I'm Bill Belichick, I'm done. I've given you the future.
Wait, Dan, you know that for a fact?
I think he's done.
No, you know that Tom Brady went to the owner. How do you know all this
I'm going off of the ESPN reports, which seem pretty accurate.
Oh,
if you
there you
ask
go.
me.
Many reports.
How Donald Trump says it. Fake news.
I don't think it's fake news. I think when you add up all the silly articles that have been coming out throughout the year about the trainers being barred, when you it all kind of okay. And then when you take it all and you put it together, it makes sense. And I really think that
When
is
you
the
put
case.
it all together, all that matters is it's going to steam the engine of the Patriots, and they're just going to push on through the AFC. It's only going to light the fire under them.
I
I
think in
think
a
this
couple
is the
weeks.
worst thing for
rallying
the
call.
rest of the NFL teams that the Patriots are now pissed off at the media
No.
because now they're just going to
I
destroy
think in a couple
everybody
weeks
else.
he'll be saying I'm right, and Bill Belichick announces he's done or he's going somewhere else. I don't
Yeah,
think he wouldn't retire. If he
even
does
you're
leave,
right,
he
I
wouldn't
would still
retire.
say you're wrong.
If he does leave,
No way
he
he
wouldn't
leaves the
retire. He would go to
Patriots.
another team.
I
Which is
do-
why no team is announcing new head coaches, by the way, besides the Oakland Raiders.
I
Because
do
they
like-
wanted John Gruden.
Oh,
yeah.
John Gruden.
I do really. We'll get to them in just a second. I do like that Tom Brady was out for what? How many games last season?
4.
4. 4 games. The 2 quarterbacks that played for the Patriots, Jimmy G, Garoppolo, and who was the other backup when Jimmy G got hurt?
Jacoby Brissett.
Jacoby
Brissett.
Brissett. Those 2 guys have banked the Patriots trades and I think cash incentives on the side. I didn't look at the trade specifics about it because I'm not smart enough to look at that stuff on RotoWire, things like that. But they played these 2 guys for 4 games, they're now starting the 2 other teams that they got traded to, and people traded quite a pretty penny for those 2 guys for the Patriots to then go, yeah, go sit on the bench, Tom's back. Like, I think the Patriots came out quite well for those 2 because they can do what they do with every player. They take someone who's okay or good, they put them on the team, they use them for what they want to use them, and then they trade them to somebody else for more than they could be worth for them to stay on the team.
Have you seen Jimmy G on the Niners, though?
I have.
5-0.
He is
Undefeated.
He is fantastic, and congratulations to the 49ers for getting such a good
I
player.
think he's the real deal, which makes me believe this story even more. I mean, that's the way.
Yeah, but Tom Brady's not. Tom Brady's not the best quarterback.
He's washed.
I'm not saying Tom Brady is not the best quarterback. What I'm saying is Tom Brady, obviously, like most players, has an ego and was kind of jealous that they're planning to. Who wouldn't be? Who would not be kind of jealous at their time? Tom hasn't accepted that his time is done. Maybe I mean not done. He probably has 2-3 years, but he's got to accept that the Patriots need to start moving on without the. I mean, for all we know, Tom Brady can come out second week of 2018 and get injured and done for a year, and that's over. The Patriots are done.
Here's a hot take.
All right.
Once Tom Brady retires, they go back and get Jimmy Guwap. Hot take. You heard it here first.
You heard it here first at Insane Games behind the counter.
And I even read an article today that when the New England lost to Miami, that was Bill Belichick saying he purposely lost that game to show Kraft and Tom Brady exactly what the deal was. I read an article.
They would never lose on purpose.
You don't know the backstory of what's going on over here.
Dan
reads an article and feels smart about it. I read an article today.
I don't feel smart about it. I just read an article, and I
everybody
never
else
thought
on the
about it
internet.
until I read the article, and now I'm kind of like, oh wow.
Did you read an article today? Tell us in the comments below.
Yeah, did you read an article today? And you can make wild claims too, unsubstantiated or not.
I'm
Please
not
leave
making
it
a
in the
wild claim.
comments.
I'm just saying I read an article and something you didn't think of before, all of a sudden now it comes into light a little
So
bit.
I like where we've gone with New England. I personally think that Belichick will be wearing a sweatshirt in the New England season next year.
Agreed.
Mike, what do you think?
He's going to be staying, and if not, he retires.
So we've
He's
got
not gonna retire.
3 against 1 for staying. So you heard it here first. 3-1 staying.
And we'll see who wins.
But we did mention there was an interesting coaching change on 2 of our friends here's favorite team, and I'm going to get this and put it in frame because I don't think it's out here. It's a Mount Rushmore of a particular team, not my team, but many people's. The Raider Nation.
So
Raider Nation, baby.
Should I hold it in front of Tyler's face? So the Raiders have selected who as their head coach?
John
Chucky.
Gruden. Chucky.
Now, John, what's he gonna do? What's his deal? Let's pretend for a moment. I have no idea who John Gruden is. What's his deal with the Raiders? Why is that important that they got him?
Well, hopefully he does better than Jack Del Rio because 6-10 is completely unacceptable with their team.
I mean, we got 2 Oakland Raider fans here. So, Mike, what's your thought on John Gruden?
He's definitely an upgrade over Del Rio. I'm not sure if he's going to be as good as everybody says.
I kind of thought Jack Del Rio was better than what he actually was. But I'm like,
not
okay.
bad,
But
but-
no. When after he got let go, they showed his career stats with Oakland, and I guess I forget the first year that he was there, he went negative. He was not. I always I look at that 12-4 year, and I'm like, okay, that he did great, but really the year before that, he was what 6-7 maybe.
Yeah,
I
he's
forget.
always right on the edge of going.
So I guess
positive or negative.
the firing was somewhat,
Yep,
they had a reason
to take him
for it.
past the ledge. John Gruden, though, he's been out of it for some time, so hopefully he does well. And if not, then we don't have to hear his name for the coaching search every year. So.
So do you think? So do you guys think he'll be back doing quarterback camp on ESPN in 2019?
Hopefully not that soon.
Tyler, what do you think about John Gruden? What's your deal? Why are you excited about him getting picked? What's going on?
I'm super excited. I am gonna miss Riverboat Gambling Jack though. Big balls Jack. I love Black Jack Del Rio. I think he had a hard hard cards of hands dealt to him this season, though, with Derek Carr playing injured most of the season. But I think John Gruden's going to bring some excitement. It's all about entertainment value to the Raiders right now since they're moving to Las Vegas. And I'm excited. I don't know. I mean, he won the one Super Bowl after being traded from the Raiders for the Bucs, so there's a lot of excitement about him. But I don't know how good of a coach he is until I actually see it. I think the Raiders, they have the resources, they have all the players, they have, they need to get a better secondary, maybe a little bit better on the defensive end. But I mean, I'm excited to see what he's going to do. I am.
Can we not mention Derek Carr's name on here, please?
What's wrong with him, Dan?
I think we all know what's wrong with him. My fantasy football quarterback for the year. I forgot to bring that up, by the way. One of the biggest disappointments I've seen in a long time. I can't count a guy who was under 10 points every week in fantasy football than Derek Carr.
Speaking of fantasy
It was
quarterbacks,
just a very poor fantasy outing.
Not really. He had a great year in 2016.
Yeah, I said this year, not last year.
This year, yeah, it was a big disappointment.
So
You know who did really well this year is Blake Bortles.
did
yeah,
he?
he didn't pick up till the last game.
Did he do really well this season? I didn't see that.
Still won me the championship. I just want to remind you.
Kirk Cousins would have won you a championship too, but you stabbed him in the back.
Regardless,
That is quite
I-
a very big backstab for a guy that brought you to the playoffs.
Tyler, you're
I
telling me
wanted
you didn't
this-
like that?
you take a knife and you shove it into Jeremy's back with Blake Bortles as your quarterback is way better than Kirk Cousins.
I
Trust
can
me.
only imagine.
Jeremy lost to Blake Bortles, not Kirk Cousins. He lost to Blake Bortles. That's the best part.
It had to be immensely satisfying.
It is. It's great. I love it.
So who's still now in the playoffs? It's right now, a time of day where potentially there's a game being played right now.
Once.
Is it over?
No,
It's the Saints versus the Panthers. The Saints are up 24-12 in the third quarter with 4 minutes left.
Zoinks. So
Which, might I add, I think the Saints are the best team coming out of the NFC, in my opinion.
Is that a little biased because you had Alvin Kamara on your team?
A little.
Very biased. It's very biased.
Brandon Cooks,
But-
the former Saints great.
They play with such swagger, and their defense is really good this season, and they took the reins from Drew Brees by having Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara. They're just, I watch them, and I'm just like, I don't think anybody can beat this team in the NFC.
So, with the playoffs next weekend, depending on how the next couple of, it's third quarter, so the next 20 minutes go for the Saints and the Panthers. Next weekend is Atlanta versus Philly, Tennessee versus New England, Jacksonville versus Pittsburgh, and then to be determined versus the Minnesota Vikings, who, by the way, if they win, they'll be playing in. If they went to the Super Bowl, they'd be playing in their home stadium, right?
Yep, the Vikings
Right.
will be playing at home if they go there.
God, how cool would that be to see? But so the playoffs, we've got. What do you guys see for that weekend going? For the people who've got picks out there,
Well, I'm gonna go with the Patriots.
the Pats against the Titans.
Let me see these matchups real
You don't
quick.
think Marcus Mariota's going to throw another touchdown pass to himself?
Shout out to Marcus Mariota, my fantasy quarterback. Stabbed me in the back a couple of times, but he did
Marcus
throw a touchdown.
Maserati.
The Maserati. But I think I'm gonna have to go with Saint Nick and the Eagles against the Falcons.
Whoa.
They're gonna choke as always. Falcons choke.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go
They
with
do
touchdown Tom Brady. And I think I gotta go with Blake Bortles over the Steelers. Last time they played,
I
Ben
agree.
Roethlisberger was crying like a baby. So, and then I guess we'll have to see for the last one. So, but
Tyler, what about you? Who are your picks?
I got the Patriots in an obvious blowout against the Titans. Their offense is horrendous. Their defense is even worse. I got in an upset. I'm going with Mike. I got the Jags. I like their defense a lot, and I don't know how Bortles going to do, but I really, really, really like Jags defense. I'm going to have the Falcons in an upset over the Eagles. I think this will be the game that the Falcons finally blow the lid off the roof and they score a ton of points. And their defense is also killing it this playoff so far. And I'm going to say the Saints are going to beat the Panthers, and then they're going to go on and beat the Vikings.
Dan?
I think the only game that matters right now, I think, is Jacksonville. I don't need to see that. I think Jacksonville and Steelers. I think your Super Bowl champion is coming out of that game. I think Jacksonville will beat the Steelers and win. I think Jacksonville, with Jacksonville's defense, they're very good. And I think if the Steelers do beat Jacksonville, I think the Steelers will make their way through. I think the Steelers will come back. They'll get revenge on New England and make their way in. Either way, I think your champion is out of the AFC between the Jacksonville.
Bold statement.
And I think that game right there is your Super Bowl champion.
Tyler's giving you
Very
some
bold.
looks.
I think the damage has been done in New England. I don't think they'll go over whatever going on this week. I think that's
Very
done.
bold. I mean bold.
I think very done. I think Atlanta. I think Philadelphia has their problems. I think Atlanta will crumble like they normally do. I don't think the Titans will get past the New England. And I really think both teams that have a lot of momentum and doing very well are Jacksonville and the Steelers. I think your Super Bowl champion is coming out of that game.
You really think that Ben Roethlisberger is going to do a Princess Bride? He's going to go right up to Tom Brady like, "My name is Ben Roethlisberger. You killed my season. Prepare to die."
I'm not sure they
throw
meet.
into the seven
To be
people.
honest with you, Dave, I'm not sure they meet. I'm not sure they're going to meet. And I could very well see the Steelers get knocked out, and I could really. I mean, I think New England will beat the Tennessee Titans, but you don't know. I think the Patriots will definitely beat the Titans, but I don't know if the Steelers can get past Jacksonville.
You don't think the Saints or like anybody out of the NFC is going to beat any of the AFC?
I don't.
teams?
I don't think the Saints
NFC
really don't have it.
The NFC is more stacked, I think, personally, than the AFC this year.
I think your Super Bowl champion is out of the Steelers-Jacksonville matchup.
The defenses are better. Even the Vikings and the Saints defense is really good. Eagles and Falcons, their defenses are better than anybody in the AFC. I think it's going to be an NFC Super Bowl winner, not AFC. But I could be wrong because, I mean, Tom Brady does know how to cheat in the Super Bowl. So.
Whoa.
He's been there and done it before.
You apparently heard it here first. Or on what site is it that always calls out the Patriots? That like every time, what is it, like USA Today or something? Where they're like those Don Patriots. I really think the Falcons are gonna beat the Eagles. I think Saint Nick had his December 25th and has gone back to the North Pole and will be playing as backup quarterback on another team next season. I think New England's gonna just spank the Titans. I think. What's his name from the star receiver who went to the Jets and then is on the Titans is going to have bad flashbacks against the Patriots. What's his name? Oh, this is a whole bit I wanted to do.
Steelers guy?
No, a guy who's currently on the Titans that played for the Jets. He was a star receiver.
Oh, Eric Decker?
Yeah, Eric Decker.
Okay, yeah.
He's going to be standing out in the out like way open and being like, no, not again. Not another team. He's going to run straight off the field. I think Jacksonville is going to lose to Pittsburgh, and I think it's going to be because of Tyler's favorite player in the NFL today, Blake the Bald Man Bortles. I think after watching his play today against my team, and they're only my team when they lose, by the way. Every other time it's like, oh, wow, the Bills did really good. Oh, Dave, your Bills lost. But I think that Blake Bortles is going to throw a whole lot of interceptions to the defense or just to the wrong people. And I think that because Ben Roethlisberger could just literally close his eyes and just lob the ball in front of him to somebody, because he has so many people on his team that just perform so well, that I think that's going to go. I have no idea about the it's 24-12 for the Panthers in the third quarter. I don't think the Panthers have it in them to take it back. So I think it's going to be Saints-Vikings, and I think it's going to be the Saints, and I think that'll be the last time the Saints win for the season after this divisional playoff game against the Vikings. Although I would like to see if the Vikings were going to win against the Saints, I would love to have that, like, you know, once in a lifetime. The home team plays in the
that would be cool.
in its own stadium.
I don't trust Case Keenum, though, to take it all the way. He's had a good year, but I don't trust him. He's due for a big old-fashioned choke.
So, speaking of choking, and choking on what will now be rewarded with a first-round draft pick, there was a team who had a worse season than yonder commandant. That was...
Barely.
No. See this? There's a 3 in the win column. See this? The Cleveland Browns.
Did not finish last.
The Cleveland Browns. Not only did they finish last, they had no wins. None.
Are they even worth talking about, the Browns? Like, come on.
They played, and they even played.
Come on down.
They got handed a gimme game the last week of the game of the season. They had the Steelers' backup quarterback. They had, who's not bad, but the B team was out there, and they had their A team out there, and they still couldn't win the game. Like, it amazes me that they really, really, really wanted to beat the Jets to the first round draft pick this coming year.
You need to get rid of Hugh Jackson. I liked him at first, but they're refusing to get rid of him. Former Raider but
they need to draft Saquon Barkley out of Penn State and Baker Mayfield out of Oklahoma, and just let those two go wild in the backfield.
What about Flash Gordon? God.
I mean, if he stays off the gin and juice and the Mary Jane, I think he's gonna be a premier wide receiver.
He's clean.
He's clean. That's what he says every time he comes back from suspension. Josh Gordon, by the way, is Flash Gordon, not to be confused with the superhero Flash Gordon. And then we also had on our ticket here coach vacancies. A lot of interest in that this year going on. A lot of teams have a lot of seats moving. You heard it here first. The Patriots will be looking for a new coach at the end of this season, win or not. I know I have a coach for next year, Andy McDermott. You guys have a coach. Are there any other teams that we're looking at for coaching staff that we're interested in and hearing about?
The Bears. Dan thinks that Bill Belichick's
the Bears.
Bears.
But I also I'm wondering where Jim Harbaugh falls into this, because I really think he's looking too. I really do. I think Jim Harbaugh would go to the Bears
which Harbaugh is that? The one who's in...
John is in Baltimore.
Yeah.
So
Jim coaches Michigan.
Okay.
But he won what?
Michigan! Woo!
Michigan went 8-4, and I believe they lost against who did they play? I forget who they played.
They lost against everybody.
Yeah. I really think Jim is looking to get to the NFL, and I really think
he should have never left.
I agree.
Well, they should have never pushed him out. I want that man breaking clipboards in the NFL now.
But I think he'll go to one of those. I believe he would go to the Bears more than anyone. I don't think he'd go to Detroit. I don't think he'd go to what Oakland's done. I don't think he'd go to
Indianapolis.
The Colts. I don't think he'd go to the Colts. I really think he'd go to the Bears. I really think it's in that same kind of region. I believe he'd go to the Bears.
So I have a question. Who do you guys think should have been fired that wasn't fired this year?
Hugh Jackson.
The Browns. I mean, I'm not to go 0-16. There's a little bit on the coach there. I mean, come on. I mean, you got
It's all on the coach.
Yeah,
They were in most of the games that they were playing.
I mean, I would understand if you want maybe 3-11, if Dave wants to put the sign up again, or 4-10. But to go 0-16, it's like he wasn't even there. Like, what did he do? I mean, I get that you got to have the right personnel, and you're trying to get your team set up for the future. But there was a few situations where they should have won something there.
I have 3 coaches, one of which is obvious. I think Dirk Cutter from the Bucs should have got canned. He's just awful. He's soft. He's just awful. I think Malarkey from the Titans, even though they won the playoffs, he should also be cut. And the hottest take I have on coach vacancies, who I think should have been canned a long time ago, was Ron Rivera of the Panthers. I do not like him as a coach.
Ron?
I don't think he's good, and I don't think he can take Cam Newton to the Super Bowl and win it.
No, I agree. I think I gotta think about it for a minute. Who else?
You really think the Titans should fire that guy who got him into the playoffs?
Well, no, they already said they're going to keep him. I'm just saying the Titans, they're just, I don't know. They should. He's the most boring coach. They should have just got rid of him.
Marcus Mariota had a terrible year because of him. Marcus Mariota should put up 30 points in every fantasy game.
I mean, what about the Jets? You don't think the
I
Jets
was going to
guy?
say that. See, now
You
you're
don't think
stepping
Jack
on
should
my
have been
pick.
fired?
I was going to say Todd Bowles should at the very least be sitting in a very awkward meeting with a lot of
Pulling his
people,
shirt.
because this year they went into the year going, we're getting that first round draft pick and we're getting a good quarterback out of the draft. And the Browns were like, Cutsy's in line, and they were like, okay.
I could see the Browns. They're so stupid. I could see them picking 2 quarterbacks. They pick Baker Mayfield and then they pick Lamar Jackson or something like that.
They might, just to finally get it over with. And then they'll
Or
both be
I mean, you
bad.
could take Lamar Jackson and just change him to a wideout or a running back. But still, I could see them doing that.
Who's the coach of the Houston Texans again?
Bill O'Brien.
I also think he should be in an awkward meeting. I know that
That's not fair, though.
I know his team had a lot of injuries and things like that, but did you watch that last game where it was all, like from the start of the game they flipped the coin hit the dirt, and just that circus theme was playing, and he's on the sidelines like holding up his clipboard going, all right, so we're gonna go home and I'm gonna have some queso. I'm definitely gonna get some Chipotle queso. That stuff is grainier than sandpaper, but I want it. Like, so he was not watching that game.
Marvin Lewis? Really? 2-year extension?
Yeah, he needs to go.
Is Cincinnati ever going to learn?
Coach.
Like, I mean, here he goes,
I
I'm
think
done.
the owner of the
Now-
I think the owner of the Bengals has a crush on Marvin Lewis or something.
Something weird. I just don't get it. And the fans even understand it.
He's been a coach for the Bengals for 17 years, has been to the playoffs numerous times, and has yet to win a single playoff game.
I
That's
like
awful.
him. I like him, but for obvious reasons.
If I
the
was
Bills
a Steelers
get in.
fan or a Ravens fan, I would love him too, because he can't get the job done even when his team's good.
By the way, just an interesting stat here because I'm looking at it. Hugh Jackson, you know what his overall record with the Browns is?
1-31.
1-31. And we decide we're going to keep him for a second year? I mean, if 1-15, I get, okay, 1-15, we're going to give you another year, but 0-6, I mean, do you even care? Is this guy even, like, coaching a team?
Score alert. Saints, or the Panthers just scored Greg Olsen touchdown catch. It is now 24-19.
Oh.
Getting interesting.
Bill O'Brien, 4-12.
Nah, I mean, his top 2 players got injured.
Yeah,
J.J. Watt and
Watson.
Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson didn't get hurt. That team would be in the playoffs.
Andy Reid.
Exactly.
Andy Reid. What about Andy Reid making
Yeah.
the Chiefs? The Chiefs can't seem to win in the playoffs against any. Or is that more of an Alex Collins situation?
Alex Smith?
I'm sorry, Alex Smith. Yeah.
I was going to say, to be honest, I would say it's. I watched that game, and to be honest,
Andy Reid was too busy thinking about the friendlies menu
Yes.
after the game rather than
Yes,
that.
he was absolutely another person who was standing on the sidelines right after the coin was tossed, going, "Am I getting the tenders? Am I getting the fribble? Am I? I don't want. I'm not."
He was like, should I get a Sunday after this? I don't know.
I will
Maybe
say though,
Apple crisp.
Andy Reid has stopped calling timeouts 30 seconds before the 2-minute warning. So, I mean, he's at least improved in some ways as a coach. So to stick up for that walrus. Well, that man is the most majestic-looking coach on the sidelines since Rex Ryan stopped being on the sidelines. And thank God that man is not on the sidelines anymore. Because what a distraction. He should coach the Browns. That would bring them back in the biggest way possible. You heard it here first.
He's talking about how to burn a team to the ground.
I mean, really, there's
Rex
actually
Ryan
a
and the
lot of
Browns.
disappointing people that actually weren't fired in 2017. Now that I'm looking at it,
Inspire them all.
Rest in peace, Jack Del Rio.
I mean,
Rest in power,
and I
my
do
brother.
kind of feel bad. I really don't think Jack Del Rio deserved that, but I mean, again, when you go back and you look at his first year, I mean, I guess there's a little bit of. I mean, they wanted John Gruden. That's the fact of the matter.
That's it. Plain and simple.
I mean, but you look at a lot of these other, like Pete Carroll. Is his job on the line?
Oh my God,
I
they
would
keep
say
him
so.
forever.
He's
I can't
contemplating
wait for him to get
retiring.
fired.
I mean,
So annoying.
what about the Bucks?
I already said that.
Yep.
So-
you did bring it up, but it is time.
There's a lot of coach open seats. There's a lot of awful teams looking for drafting. And again, watch out, prospective prospects coming through the NFL Combine and things. The Browns have the first pick. The Upside Browns. That's right.
They have the third and the fourth pick. They have 2 picks in the top 5.
Yikes!
And let's see how much they screw that up.
Both
trade
retired
away.
in 2 years. Not by choice.
With an incentive trade, the Cleveland Browns have traded their pick to the San Francisco 49ers for Jimmy Flip Flop Garoppolo. Garoppolo's there at the draft walking around. Yeah! 3 teams in 2 years!
Didn't they almost get A.J. McCarron, the Browns?
Well, the Browns
from
did
the
this.
Bengals?
That was something else that they did this year that was very interesting and why their coach should be fired. They signaled that they were interested in him, and then when the other team who had him was like, "All right, what do you want to do for him?" and they kept going, "Who dis?" There was no commitment to the idea, no commitment to the trade, no commitment to getting him. They just signaled that they wanted him, and then a lot of other people fogged up the lines for him.
I'm pretty sure they were having a celebration party for getting him, and they didn't find the time to actually sign him.
If you're celebrating of getting A.J. McCarron, there's some problems with that organization.
Let's just for fun. Are the Browns going to screw up their 2 first-round draft picks to the point of not being able to win one? I'm just talking one game in all of this next season. Mike, are they going to win one game? They have 2 first-round draft picks, a lot of players that would mesh well with the coach, would mesh well with the system that they have. I mean, it's garbage, but still.
I think they come back and win 4 games next season.
You think they'll use the 2 picks?
I think Deshaun Kaiser will come back.
He'll come back on the field
kidding,
and beat
just
Nathan
kidding.
Peterman and throw 6 interceptions in the first quarter.
Whatever quarterback they get in the draft should be good with Josh Gordon.
Tyler,
Or
do
whoever else
you
they have
think
on
they'll win
offense.
one game?
So I do. I think what's going to happen is they are going to lose about 4 games, and then they're going to finally fire Hugh Jackson in the middle of the season, and then they're going to go on a hot streak after they fire him and win a couple. I think they're going to. I agree with Mike. I think they're going to win 4, maybe 5. I think it just depends on their schedule and who they're playing, but I do think they'll win some after they finally fire Hugh Jackson.
I do like the nod to the New York Giants. They're going to do the same thing next year. They're going to be so much better. Now that they don't have a coach that's going to look straight at the press and go, "Ah."
I just think they have all these first round picks, and all these guys that are getting a little bit older and more experienced. I just don't see how they could lose many more games.
Dan, how do you feel? 2 first-round draft picks, 0-16. A running back that was pretty good, some good wide receivers out there in the field, and Deshaun Kaiser is improving. He's still young. He's throwing tons of picks left and right, but
My thought was 2-14 or 3-13. I think was my initial. I don't know if they'll win 4. I think they'll be between 2 and 3 wins. And I agree they may fire Hugh Jackson mid-season if that's the case. I don't know if they'll go winning a bunch after they fire him, but I do feel like if they have only 1 win in their first 6 games, or I think they'll fire Hugh Jackson. But I could also see them keeping Hugh Jackson, going, we got to develop the team, and we got to give him time to get these players developed, and all of a sudden he's going to be coaching a 4th year with 3 wins under his belts over the course of 3 years. So
Maybe 3-45.
I mean,
So, quick hot take before we move on to the next topic. Just yes, no. Johnny Manziel in the NFL next year, yes, no, Mike.
Please, yes.
Yes, Tyler? Money Manziel, yes?
No.
Dan?
XFL.
And my answer is a severe absolutely not. That man will be playing for Vince McMahon and competing for the World Heavyweight Championship in
XFL.
the Extreme Football League. And now we're going to talk about a topic that's near and dear to all 4 of us, something that we nerd out about a lot, something that we just spend a lot of time doing. We've come a long way since our friends and cartridges. God love you, and the fact that Nintendo will never give you up. But video games. 2017 was a pretty interesting year for gaming. It had a lot of ups. It had a lot of microtransaction downs. So what do you guys, do you have any games that you, we'll do played, hated, and hated. We'll just cover that base because I know all four of us play a lot of different games and the like. Who would like to go first on that one?
I think overall, the one game that I played was Destiny 2. I think Mike and I went through and we played, with a bunch of us, we did Destiny 2.
Yeah.
I thought that was, it's a good game, but I think good game that went into a disappointment towards the end.
I was going to say, it was going to be my played and my hated game, Destiny 2.
Because I feel like it got your attention for about a month. It went through, they kind of, I thought maybe they learned from the first one and have all the content ready to go. And you go through, it takes you a while to get everything complete. And then you have a few people that, I'm not the one that likes to go back and redo everything that I did. So I'm not the one that creates more than one character. So I had one character, did everything with that, got them up to a 300. And at the end of the day, they have no new content for you to play. And it's
Always
like
their problem. No
it's like, okay,
content.
you would think for a game that they've been developing for what, 2-3 years? When did Destiny 2 come out? 2 years before? Or Destiny 1? 2 years before? 1?
Yeah, I think it was 2 years.
You would think over that time span, they can have a game that they're ready to go with, okay, and it's not a big change. It's like, okay, you play the game, you get to the raid, and then 3 weeks later we have a new raid for you. Or 3 weeks later we have a new set of stuff for you. It's not that hard. I don't even care if it's the same map for the raid, but different rooms. Come up with something that's a little bit different. But instead we're going to give you no content and hope that you continue playing the game or don't. We don't care if we lose you as a player and you go off play somewhere else because we don't have anything to give you. So at the end, it was a disappointment, I think.
Yeah. I don't like how they control the amount of content they give, and then when you're all done, then you have to pay for more, just repetitively. I think Destiny 1 ended up spending $120 for one complete game. So once I saw how Destiny 2 was with their microtransactions, I didn't buy any more DLC. $60 was enough this time around.
I think 2017 in general was a disappointment. When you look at, I don't want to spoil other people's opinions, but when you look at all the games and what occurred or what didn't occur throughout the year, I think overall 2017 was a disappointment.
Tyler, 2017 in gaming for you, how was it?
I thought it was great. I made the switch over to PlayStation 4 from Xbox One. I played a little GameCube there. I didn't hate any of the games I played. I got frustrated a lot, like Crash Bandicoot, the Insane Trilogy. I many a times almost broke my controller by throwing it through the screen of my TV. But played this game right here, which is Hot Fire.
Fire.
And I just got it traded in today, which I'm taking that home and making sweet love to it with Double XP Weekend.
Almost out of time.
I disagree with Dan. I think 2017 was a great year. I just don't think Dan knows how to play video games. So,
well, gaming is also thanks to the fact that there's Nintendo, Microsoft, Sony. The PC community. There's such a wide variety of that you could find stuff that you do like.
Can I?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What have you got?
I like this year. Most of the games from this year that I played I played a couple big ones like Mass Effect Andromeda, stuff like that. But
sorry,
I would put on slightly disappointing, not hated. But I played a lot of indie games. I played Bendy and the Ink Machine, which came out as an indie game, and I've completely scared the crap out of Dave as we're playing. And then my favorite was probably Doki Doki Literature Club, which is a visual novel and plays around with genre and how games are played a whole lot. So for me, 2017's best games were the smaller games, the ones that are hey, we got a small release on Steam or something like that. And going from there, as opposed to the big AAA games. I like some of the big AAA games, but they aren't what defined 2017 for me.
Yeah, PUBG.
Oh, we'll get to that. But I have to tell you that my 2017 was actually made rather early into 2017 because I purchased a video game system with the sole purpose of playing this title. And I waited, and I sat there, and that system collected so much dust because there were no other games for it, and it was so very bald and awful. And then the day after my birthday, I was gifted something precious and beautiful and wonderful in the form of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild for my Wii U. It made that whole purchase waiting for that stupid system to be worth even $1. And my God, did it deliver on so many levels as a Zelda title, as a game that when they put the words open world on it, which is a terrifying prospect these days, because I'm a Bethesda fan, but I also like when my games don't just glitch like continually and forever. But I loved that game. I loved the story. I liked the characters that they made, the canon that they did. They acknowledged the past Zelda games. It was so good, and it made my Wii U a thing I no longer cringe at. My Legend of Zelda Wii U, by the way, that I purchased here at Insane Games.
Speaking of which, we have Breath of the Wild in for Wii U.
Yeah, it just came in today.
$49.99.
Whoa!
Can we rewind for a minute?
Uh-huh.
Did you really say that I'm bad at video games?
Dan, what other game?
Be careful what you reply back. You don't even compare to me in Call of Duty.
It doesn't matter.
Not
Black
even
Ops
close.
Played together, Black Ops 3, I dominated you.
After I told you
sat
what
there-
gun to use.
I
Oh,
sat
Tyler,
there.
try using the 3 burst gun. Maybe your aim
Awesome.
can get a little bit
And
better. I'm sorry, I said I'm shooting to the right. You'll be shooting straight where you should be by using the burst gun.
The student becomes the master as I dominated you.
Is this true?
That's what
When it
I went
relates to the store,
a different console because it was I dominated you on Xbox.
when we
I
relate
didn't
to the
wanna
store,
embarrass you anymore.
when we relate to the store, I am the greatest at Call of Duty
No.
ever to grace a controller
No.
of anyone that's ever come into this company over the years. And there's a lot of people that may be listening to this or may not be listening to it that have worked here, been here. I, and excuse my language, kick their ass in Call of Duty.
That's empowered Ducimo.
I would
Ducey
like
learned from me over the years.
I would
And
like
Jeremy.
to call to the
was a
attention
movie.
that the store's Call of Duty Championship is that's a vacant.
Oh, I actually.
I held that title for about 15 years until World War II
think
came
that's-
out.
No, until
Awful game.
Jeremy came around and
Awful
slashed you
game.
all around.
Awful Call of Duty game. That's what comes to my 2017 disappointment, is that a Call of Duty game, and I get the whole idea that it's in World War II, there's no burst gun, but if you can't put a burst gun in there, I ain't playing. And see you later,
Cool.
Call of Duty World War II.
I have a game that I and Dan both hate even more than any game this year. Dan, you know what that is?
WWE.
Yep.
Can I get the lead up on this for a minute?
Let me just. Okay, yeah, I guess. Go for it.
There is a major fit about to happen, by the way.
Going back to the SmackDown versus, first off, big WWE fan, as you can tell, okay? And
Bigger.
going
I'm
back
bigger.
to WWE SmackDown versus Raw, they had a mode called GM mode, which was great because it pretty much allowed you to have your own Raw or SmackDown show. You could create the players, the match, the ratings, money, advertising, promos. It was great. And for a game back in 2017, it seemed like it had all the possible things you could do in a game. Got rid of it. Big disappointment. But now, because I also get it, they got rid of the whole SmackDown general manager and Raw general manager storyline altogether. But now they brought it back in 2016, 6 months before WWE 2K17 came out. So I had a little bit of hope they put the GM mode back in WWE 2K17. And when they didn't, that was a disappointment. I had to wait a full year to 2018 came out for them to put GM mode in. I waited. I looked forward to it. The only game I was looking forward to in 2017 was WWE 2K18. And what happened?
Whoa.
Like WWE does to all their fans, they don't deliver on the one thing people want, and they made a game that doesn't include it. Biggest disappointment. Great game. It had everything. The graphics, all the wrestlers, the belts.
I would say the
everything.
graphics are literally the only good part of that game. Other than that, that game is hot water garbage.
I've never been more disappointed in a game my entire life than WWE 2K18. Extremely disappointed.
Besides playing one-on-one matches or whatever, all the other matches they have, besides WWE Universe, which is the dumbest thing ever created, what else can you do on that game?
Nothing.
Exactly. It's a waste of money. And, I mean, the graphics are cool and all. Yeah, they have all the wrestlers. Yeah, the entrances are cool, whatever, yada, yada, yada. But when you get a game, you purchase it for $60, you want value. There is no value in that game whatsoever.
I think you're going back to WWE's morals of, we're not going to give the wrestling fans what they want. And that is, some people want GM mode, and they just won't do it. They just forbid to do it. It's I don't get it. It's crazy.
So
I mean, it's like we're not going to deliver. And I'm not the only one, by the way, that likes GM mode. If you kind of go online and you research, there's a lot of people who want that mode back, and WWE just won't do it. They have this universe mode so stuck up their ass that I don't understand why they do it.
Because
I don't know what's worse, Overwatch or WWE this year.
Because
come on.
because we are
Overwatch
the
is so
WWE universe, and so we should have universe mode. We are not the WWE general manager.
What's that?
I said you look like Winston from Overwatch.
Mike, what?
I would appreciate
2017
Roadhog a little more. But
for you, Mike.
I was just thinking because of your big chest. My bad.
For you, Mike, 2017 in gaming. What was your game? Was it good? Was it bad? Was it a good experience overall?
it was pretty good. I mostly played Overwatch again. I think that came out in 2016, but me and a group of friends played that a lot.
Can you give me the point behind Overwatch? What is the point
Be
of
better
playing
than
Overwatch? Like,
the other
what is
people.
it?
Is there a
Impose your will
point to the
on the
game that you're
opponent.
playing? Like, I don't really get the
Party
point.
game, Dan.
Teamwork, perhaps?
One at a time, ladies. One at a time. So, what was that, Tyler?
It's a shooting game. Like, I don't understand how Dan doesn't understand that. It's just a shooting game.
Have you played
What's
it?
the point of
Objective
any shooting?
Have you played it?
I've never played it, but I don't care to play it. It's just a shooting
When
game.
I played it, it felt like there's no purpose to the game.
You shoot and kill the other person. That's the game.
It's a team FPS like Team Fortress kind of thing like that. And there's different roles similar to how MOBAs are big today, where you have you have support, you have everything like that, like League of Legends and Dota and stuff like that, put into first-person shooter.
So what game do you play that actually does feel like it has a point then? If you say Overwatch doesn't feel like it has a point.
No, I just feel like you go there and there hasn't been a good NASCAR game since 2002. Okay, but I feel like I gave Overwatch a fair shot. I used the Reaper, gave it a fair shot. I just felt
the Reaper.
I just felt like I got on there and I'm just running around shooting. There's no point. There's no who gets the most kills. There's no like.
That's what it's all about.
It's nothing like. I feel like at the end of the day, it's like absolutely not. Hey, what did we accomplish that game? Did we do anything?
Did the team feel bad about themselves?
Subjective based, right? Like,
As everyone can tell, I'm being teamed up right now about Overwatch
Well,
because I feel like the game is
knocking down
stupid.
turrets, knocking down nexus, everything like that. It's not necessarily about how many kills you get, and I haven't played Overwatch. I don't necessarily know that that's what it is,
good
but
for
it's
the
not
soul.
necessarily just in kills. Team points can be earned by different objectives as well.
By the way, for everyone in the store, besides probably Tyler and I, and maybe Dave, have been playing Overwatch. I just feel like there's no point.
So,
But you never answered my question. Which game does have a point that you play?
What do you mean? 2017's been a disappointing year. I have not played that many.
Dave, you of all people should know it's not about the points that you get.
Mike is
So-
let me explain something. Mike is just upset right now because he's playing Call of Duty. Okay, he feels like he's doing good, but he can't brag about how good he's doing because no one's playing the game. I'm not acknowledging it 'cause I think it's an awful game. No one's playing it, and Mike is crying the blues.
We heard his whole spiel about being the Call of Duty champion, and then
don't
I want to
forget
play. I want to play with the champ, and There's a no-show.
The champ
so
is not here right now, Mike.
My name
That's
might
the
have
way
to
it
be
is.
going up
Mike,
on that
if you
belt
want to play
pretty
a game,
soon.
I'll throw in Rocket League. We can play together again.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, Rocket League. Dan played that with me on my program. It went real bad, real fast. By the way,
It's very hard.
At least that game has a point to it.
so
No, they
Alvin Kamara just scored a touchdown.
oh,
That's my boy.
Was that the dagger? Game over?
31-19 with 5 minutes left in the fourth.
Pretty much.
Pretty
so
much.
Mike, were there any games that came out in 2017 that you? Because it's actually pretty good that in an era where you're spending upwards of like $120 on a Destiny, where you spent, even if you bought the deluxe edition of Destiny, probably a C note, but people are still playing it to this day and it's still going strong. Were there any games from 2017 that came out that, you know, hit the disc tray pretty often, or was it just a year that made you think, well, maybe next year?
As I say, I didn't really play too many that came out this season or this year, but I guess Call of Duty is a very good one in comparison to the last Call of Duties. Ghost, Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 3, Infinite Warfare, those ones I thought were all garbage. The robotic jumping. Finally getting the boots back on the ground where it's just a nice, quick-paced shooter, straight to the point. And I think it's a nice return back to its roots. But
So
it's
Tyler,
still Call of Duty, so...
hey. So Tyler, you were the most excited about this next topic because you literally rattled off your list right as we were about to start. 2018. It's we're 7 days into the year. There is a whole release calendar and rumored games that are going to be coming out and all that stuff. What's got 2018 for gaming for you? What are you looking forward to? What are you not looking forward to?
Well, I'm looking forward to Spider-Man for sure. I think Spider-Man's going to be sick. It's only on PlayStation 4. The trailer of it at E3 was incredible. It was. I hope they add Venom into it, maybe some other characters from Spider-Man. I'm also very excited for God of War, even though I've never played a single God of War. It's in the Nordic region this year,
sick.
so he's going to be fighting all these crazy Vikings and whatnot. So I'm excited for that. I mean, other than that, I mean, Days Gone it looks really good. Far Cry 5 looks really good. I'm very excited for all the games that are coming out, and I'm obviously always going to play NBA 2K and Madden 19 when that comes out, and WWE when it comes out. But those are the 4 games that I'm excited for that are coming out.
Nice. Dan, do you have anything on the release radar for 2018 that you're...
Yeah, the next Call of Duty.
The
I'm going to be looking to play one after the disaster of World War II.
Hater.
I am a hater,
best one to come out in
and Dan's
years.
not going to learn because he was talking about WWE. And it's like, oh, well, it was a bad year. They'll surely come back better next year. Yeah, good luck with that with Call of Duty.
did you, the audience, have any games that you also felt so passionately that next year they will answer my prayers and my posts and they will get it right, and then felt the spurn of disappointment like the WWE fandom did? Because I also saw that was like popping up on streams for WWE. Like, why isn't manager mode coming back? Like, and they're like kind of like, questions about Triple H, please. I know my year was made by Breath of the Wild. I loved that game. I also got my sweet next Tekken installment in, and I love that game. I haven't put it down since I got it. I know I also got Gundam Versus in from 2017. I know, really nerdy, but a game that takes all of these animes and all of these mobile suits, all the things, and puts them in one game where the point of the game, Dan, is to make a team of 2 or 3 and just be the last people standing. And it's like everyone's... You know, when you're growing up and you're a kid and you have the 2 action figures and you bang them together until one of them falls apart, that's what that game is. So I, as an adult, can continue to play just as I did... Oh, God.
Does PUBG come out for PlayStation 4 this year?
No.
What a shame.
No, it does not.
What a shame.
And to be totally honest, that is the game that I'm looking forward to in 2018. I played the beta. I paid for the beta. I like it. and I think once it gets...
Might have to switch to Xbox. Just for that.
I won't be investing all that much money to own a system, but I will certainly be stealing friends and family's Xboxes to play.
Is that why you come over to my place?
What? I mean, so Mike, your 2018 game. Are there any that you're looking forward to? Is there any rumors that you've heard about games that you're looking forward to?
Apparently they're making a Pokemon for the Switch, which could be pretty dripping. And dripping what? So, other than that, I haven't really done too much research. I kind of just take them as they come, so.
Nice. Is there any new expansions for any of the games? Because I know you play Overwatch. You're someone on the radar for Destiny, things like that. Is there any content, DLC, new seasons, things like that are coming that are gonna...
Definitely not
it's
for
not
Destiny.
Over. It's not over. Score alert. Christian
that?
McCaffrey just ran in a touchdown. 31-26 with 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
If only you people could have been here for the football season to hear how we would scream and yell and throw things at each other.
I want to jump in here, talk with Mike a little bit here.
Uh-huh.
As a fighting guy, and a so-called Tekken guy, you haven't played new Tekken yet?
I played it the other day. I was destroying people with Kazuya, so... My boy, Kazuya Mashima.
Jin Kazama!
Dave was watching me with jealous eyes when I was beating people up on his game.
Did they have the Manji Forest in there?
Manji Valley.
They do. They have like Arctic something, and it's as long as there's snow, that's where true battles take place. So,
Manji Valley, true wetness.
Didn't even know the
shout
name
out
of
to
it.
Manji Valley.
Mike has a PhD in wetness, I guess, so he knows all about that.
Mike is the
See me on
so-called
Twitch, Dr.
fighting
Wetness,
champion
PhD.
here at the store. I will say Mike is I will say that Mike is pretty good at Mortal Kombat. I mean, Mike.
Pretty good? Hold on, and I can tell you from experience, there have
Boner,
been...
you're gonna have to bleep me out, but facing Mike in Mortal Kombat, that's the biggest head. He spams the same buttons, and you can't even get a
That's
single
not
move
true.
when he plays with the time.
Let me give an example of how Mike uses the control. He puts his hands on there and just goes, and you have no idea what he's doing, and it comes out with all these
That's not
moves.
true. That's not
The controller
true.
gets back to you and it's soaking wet.
It,
like
the
there's
sweat's
nothing to
coming
pull.
off.
That may
it.
be true.
It's awful. It's awful.
Whoa.
I never like taking
Whoa.
a controller after Mike just gets done playing Mortal Kombat.
He's like, sorry, Ma. It was a tough game out there. Sorry.
It was
So-
more my wetness coming off after destroying you guys.
I was
but-
going to say, for those of you
It's like
at
I got
home...
the controller handoff from Reptile.
So for those of you at home who don't know, or can't tell from that just explosion that occurred, Mike handedly beats a majority of the friends, family circle
There's
from the
no
store
chance. There's
in
no-
Mortal Kombat. And I kid you not, to the point of, I'm holding the controller, and I hear, fight! And then just suddenly I hear, fatality! And I'm done. Like, I didn't even do anything. I haven't gotten any controllers off. And it's not like Mike's sitting there going, repeating the two buttons, because I had friends and roommates that would do that, and that, by the way, is one of the cardinal
Dave.
sins of gaming.
Thank you,
If
Dave.
you mash one combo that works, I know people who play Street Fighter will say, well, you should learn how to block that combo. No, you just shouldn't use the same move over and over and
More
over and over.
importantly-
Have a rotation of 5. It's safe
Exactly.
enough where you don't have to do the same one.
You want to see people get mad? Watch a Mortal Kombat matchup, and certainly watch this one right here. I've never seen someone.
That was the best
You get
battle.
mad.
I've never seen someone. Okay. First off, for people who don't know, when Tyler and I go head-to-head in Mortal Kombat, everyone around us knows that in about 5 minutes, someone's gonna be very
And it's
upset.
usually you. And it's always you,
It's
actually.
you.
You've only beat me like once.
Once I've beaten you plenty of times with
You're
Sub-Zero.
hot water trash.
Not really.
Who do you use, Dan?
Not really. What?
Who's your guy?
Sub-Zero.
You're terrible.
Sub-Zero.
I'll play you right now. I'll play you right now and destroy you.
We don't want people to see that. We don't want people to see that.
Do you want people to see
The
that?
verbal language coming out of your mouth.
Hold
when
on,
you lose
hold
won't
on,
even make
hold
it
on.
to here.
Do you
He
want
will
to
get so
see?
mad. He'll be like,
He's going, what? You got him going nuts up
You
there.
can't handle
He
Sub-Zero.
goes to me, you're so lucky to steal the controller. I'm like, that's the f***ing controller. Verbatim, that's exactly what you said.
You know what? You do the same move over and over and over again.
You gotta do the
awful.
ratio of 5.
You're awful.
You're
gotta
awful
have
at the game. You are awful. At least I come back with a multiple different
95% of the
moves.
time.
You are awful
You're
at a
terrible
game.
at the game.
Would
It's
you
hilarious
folks at
when I beat
home-
you. It feels like I'm playing my little sister.
You're awful.
We're definitely
You are
going to have
awful.
to get this on camera at some
Would
point.
you folks at home be interested in watching these very bitter people play these games? I know that I do have a Twitch channel, DAM314 on Twitch. It's been a little bit inactive recently,
Dry.
but there is also someone else on our motley crew here who has a Twitch channel and a YouTube channel that is oft very much used, and I would like for him to plug himself here, whether he likes it or not. Behind the cameras, sir, would you let people know about your gaming excellence that you provide?
YouTube.com/Boaterbug, Twitch.tv/Boaterbug, and I don't even play competitive games. I'm always like, a single player! It's I wouldn't play competitive games with you guys, unfortunately. That camera just died, so I gotta run around. No, it's like I don't do competitive stuff. I'll pull up a seat, hold on, and I'll just shout loud enough that the mics pick me up. But no, it's I mostly do single player stuff. But Dave's been on the Twitch channel, and there's a series coming out right now on YouTube as well. So yeah, sure, check that out. Thanks for putting me on the spot. It's just, as soon as the camera that would catch me would die.
Yeah, of
Well, you
course.
said you've
been going for an hour and a half, FYI.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm well aware of that, but so
Yeah. Shout out.
shout out to
Thank you.
our camera worker.
You better be careful.
I love that we're right back to it. But ladies,
Tell me what I
ladies and gentlemen,
You're the one that won't play. You're the one that says when I give you a challenge, I don't want to play. I don't want to play. You're horrible at fighting games.
for the
You're
for the
awful.
next show, I need a gavel or something to.
We're going to have it set up next time.
Dan's percentage loss is practically like the Browns. 0-16.
Actually,
We needed to have that printed out in more formal next time.
He's so salty.
pen and
right now.
paper is a little
So
rough.
salty.
I'm not salty because I know you're the one that can't handle losing.
You can't beat me.
let us know in the comments if you guys would be interested in watching us play Mortal Kombat,
I'm
Tekken,
drinking salt on
Rocket
Dan's bald
League,
head.
Salt Bay, some of that pouring on the game.
Might be a little your way too, though.
That's the
Did he throw it
definition
up?
of
Well,
salty.
I mean, are you spreading the saltiness around? For example, and you know what? Let's actually, even though we're a bit over time here, I do want to, when one of the four of us or any of us gets salty, and then store business comes up, all of us have had that time where, for example, like when the two of you play Mortal Kombat, and then I call the Florida store. And I'm going, hello? And it's, what? I'm like, I just have a question about, and it's like, Dave, every time with this. And I'm like, did you lose a Mortal Kombat? I'm like hanging up, hiding behind the counter.
I think the worst thing that's happened, I know it's happened to all of us, because I know we all play the game over the course of the last couple of years, is Call of Duty, while we're in an Xbox Live matchup, and we're doing good in the game, and someone comes up to the counter, because it always happens. You'll be 12-4. You got a good Call of Duty game going. It's our mistake by even doing the matchup in the first place while we're working. And then a
Exactly.
customer comes up, and you got to find a way of not being rude to them, trying to rush them because you're trying to quick get back to your game. And the question becomes, do you try to save it and try to get back to it? You just quit? And
I just let it go.
It's happened to all of us. I know that.
Wait a minute. So you're telling me that official store policy is that I could just hurry that along to get back to my... No.
That's only
It's not
Dan's
supposed to
policy.
happen, but it's happened to all of us. We all make the mistake of playing a Call of Duty game while we're open, and a customer always comes up because we know it always happens, and it does.
Sometimes we need to do that to
And it
stir up
happened
a
to
little
Mike
business.
last night. He was playing Call of Duty, and of course, the minute he starts playing, people start coming in.
Mike, do you have any spreading around the salt stories?
Spreading around the salt stories.
From the store. let me purview it down to...
Not in particular, not
at the moment?
Go
So we
around,
gotta-
I might think of it.
Tyler, do you have
That
any...
could be that could be a story for a different podcast.
All right. But I will never forget.
There's plenty of them.
Yeah, but
I will
it's
still-
hard to just pick one out because there's so many.
I will just never forget when Mortal Kombat was a big thing, and we're playing to the point of the two of you guys are watching us on the store camera, watching us playing against you guys in Florida over Xbox Live, and then I'm getting the business over the phone about it.
I will say one of the greatest moments in video gaming at the store was Mortal Kombat. It was myself and Ducey, shout out, okay, working one night.
Magnifico!
We were working one night. It was, in fact, he was over back in his peon days over at Foot Locker. He was working across the street.
Shout out Foot Locker as
And we were playing Tom, my brother, another shout out, okay, from Philly. And we were playing Mortal Kombat. And Mike knows, Tom's decent at Mortal Kombat, but definitely can't stand losing.
I saw it. I
And
witnessed this.
I've never seen a moment where the matchup was so good and I beat Tom first round, and then I crushed him second round. And Ducey and I were probably jumping and doing cartwheels with each other. We could not believe the moment where I beat Tom in Mortal Kombat. And it was just a forever
I'm
good
pretty sure
moment.
he just
And
turned his Xbox off right away.
Tom turned his Xbox off, quit. Of course, he accused me of not being the one that was playing. And it was just one of those. But Ducey and I, if Ducey thought of that moment, he would probably agree that it was probably one of the best moments ever in video gaming at the store. Him and I were so excited when it happened. We both couldn't believe it.
Good old Mortal Kombat.
So, we are now an hour and a half into this program, more than that at this point. I think we've reached a very good, we've talked about 2017 to a certain degree. You know, Tyler's looking forward to his PS4 exclusives for 2018, as am I. Being, if you can't tell from the split, it's PS4 owners, Xbox, Xbone owners.
That's a whole other argument for a whole
And
nother
that's a whole
day.
other episode that we will go into. But, a quick thing to close on. What's in your disc trays? What's currently,
Oh boy.
and if it's not, if it is a movie of questionable content, I don't want to know. All right? Tyler, what's in your disc tray?
Besides the salami I just took out the other day, I'm currently gonna play Call of Duty World War II again since I
Nice.
just got it in. But
Nice.
Pretty nice.
Dan, what's presently in your disc tray?
Nothing. I'm too disappointed right now in video gaming. Need for Speed was a disappointment. Call of Duty was a disappointment. Destiny ended up being a disappointment. We were playing Halo for a while.
Never
That
Halo.
brings you
The-
to
the-
where what's in my disc tray.
Yeah.
Halo Master Chief Collection.
Halo the Master Chief Collection, where I was playing with the Johnny and Rick.
Nice. More
Shout
name
out to
dropping.
them.
I do have a question. I do have a question for you guys though.
Yeah.
Off topic of video games. Do you guys have any New Year's resolutions?
Not as it relates to video games.
Ooh.
I will say disc tray after resolutions, but
Wait a minute, I didn't get to say what I have in my disc tray, and he didn't either. So hold on. That's a very good question. In my disc tray currently is Stern Pinball Arcade. That's right, pinball! I've been playing the Ghostbusters table.
Nerd.
It came out as DLC. Thank you very much.
There's his
and
name.
I've been having a great time with that one. The Star Trek Stern table. Ooh. I burned through that thing like it owes me money.
You get your hips on it and serious
Well,
pinball action.
No, I don't. Actually, I don't play that way. But one day, somehow, we will record me playing some pinball and giving you some expert tips on how to waste $6 in quarters in 20 minutes.
I think there's a stream VOD on my computer of when we did pinball, and I kicked your ass.
Wow. Yes.
Wow.
Oh, it was bad. It was so bad.
That was a
YouTube.com/boaterbug/ my heart.
That's not up. Don't give me a
Dave's
reason to
heart out right there.
Boater just laid the smack out of Dave.
Fatality.
Finish it. Boater, what's in your disc tray? What do you got?
Okami HD. It just came out in December on PS4 and Xbox One for like its 4th re-release. And I said, hey, I'm finally going to actually finish the game. Because I've gotten like 20 hours in on the game a bunch of times before. And finally, when I quit before coming here, I was at like 21 or 22. It's like, yeah, we're going to do except on Xbox, but yes.
Yeah.
Its first Xbox release. It's been like PlayStation, and then it was on the Wii as well. And it had got an HD re-release on PS3. And it's first time it's on Xbox, which is also kind of nice.
So, any gaming...
PFO.
What?
It's on PFO.
People.
Tyler,
You guys got that PFO?
Get any X1s?
do you have any video gaming resolutions for 2018?
Video gaming? I want to play more. I usually, I think one resolution I have is I want to play one RPG because I never ever play any RPG. And
Yes!
I want to try a little.
Yeah!
It's good to hear from
So
you.
if anybody has any recommendations to top the cherry of RPG for me, let me know.
Dark Souls,
Twitter
perhaps?
handle is at Tyler J Hayes 12.
Oh, it'll be on your name card. But so Tyler, any other resolutions for the new year or any other gaming things? So we got
Off gaming, I mean, probably try and keep my blood pressure down. That's one.
Whoa, really?
Whoa.
Whoa, Dan, yours should be
He's one of the
getting a
causes of
subscription
it.
to Rogaine.
Oh!
Whoa!
These shots.
We will have to come back to that subject.
I still got a full set of hair.
Gotta talk.
Not from this angle, pal.
Dan, do you have any gaming resolutions for 2018?
Not to have high hopes like I had last year.
Is your resolution just to not settle for if games don't have GM mode or are just bad?
I like to play more, but a lot of times I don't have the time for it. Someone's got to
Busy
do all
man.
this. And,
Someone has to own work a business.
you know,
and-
so I mean, a lot of times I don't have time, but I mean, I think right now I'm, I don't know. I'm hoping for not as many disappointments this year. Honestly, I thought 2017 was pretty disappointing. I think all the games that I normally play, and I play Need for Speed, Call of Duty, Destiny, WWE. I thought they were all somewhat of. I thought Need for Speed was pretty disappointing this year too. So all in all, a disappointing year, I think. So I'm hoping 2018 has a better year.
Mike, any gaming resolutions? Any New Year's resolutions?
I would like to go positive more than I go negative in all competitive games.
Hey.
Agreed.
Bust cheeks and stay sweaty.
Oh my God!
God, every controller is just filthy with that. So,
cheeks and stay sweaty. Roll the credits.
with that, you can find us here at the Northway Plaza in Queensbury, New York. Tyler, where can your store be found?
Countryside Mall in Clearwater, Florida, 27001 US Highway 19. We are Suite 10664A.
Very
Insane
nice.
Games, baby.
Very nice. Make sure to check out our physical brick and mortar locations. You can also find us online at insanevideogames.com or just search Insane Video Games New York or Insane Video Games Florida on the Facebook or the Google, as the hip kids are calling it now. Do we have a Twitter and an Instagram?
We do have an Instagram.
Insane
one.
Games.
Insane Games on those as well. Give us a like, share, follow for promotions that we're running. Let us know what you thought about the podcast. Let us know what you have about all the things that we have talked about today. Fantasy football, the NFL and the many things, video gaming in its general.
I'm going to rip that up next time you put it up again.
Come back with 50 copies.
We should make a T-shirt of that.
All of us have different
3
colors.
and 11.
That's our first merch sale right there.
We could sell that too.
and
2-time!
So what you're
Yeah.
saying is on the front it'll say 2-time, 2-Tom, and then on the back it'll say 3 and 11.
A picture of Owen Wilson.
On
for
the
good
back,
measure.
it'll say all of his records in every single season, which is mainly negative and positive.
With that, does anybody have any closing statements? Any and
And let us
definitely
know what we did wrong.
Let us know what you like. Let us know what we did wrong, and share it.
The good things we did.
Feedback, I think, is most
and-
important.
yeah,
We'd like to have some feedback.
And don't ever be afraid to come in the store and talk about things that you saw on the podcast, things that you saw us doing in the store. If we're playing Call of Duty and you walk in, I know I had somebody challenge me to throw on the sticks in World War II, and they hosed me pretty bad.
There's a shock.
I know, but I got to try anyway.
Dave was trying so hard to play Call of Duty, especially when he was on Twitch, to somehow go positive. Or this, he was trying so hard.
I did have some positive games, though. I did. Not a lot of them, but there were some. There were some people who went home very disappointed with their KD ratio. And with that, should we send them off with our
Zach, if you come in and
The
you say
Saints-
3 and
the
11
Saints
to
just
Dan, you
won.
get 5%
The
off
Saints
on your
won.
purchase. So come in and say 3 and 11. It'd be a good time.
Now, how long is that? How long is that promotion available for? Because someone 7 years from recording could.
Till January 31st.
What year? January 31st of 2018.
I cannot fully accept that if you come in. I may not give you that discount.
So if I'm here,
or
or if Mike are here, and he's here, that's unfortunately the get with the promotion. Is you have to loudly say at the counter, "How about that 3 and 11 season?"
To be honest with you, I'll
You will
probably
get,
laugh if
you
you
will
say that
get,
when you
you
come
will
in.
get 5% off your purchase from the two of us, not from the man who went 3 and 11 himself.
I would briefly laugh, and then it would remind me that I won 3 and 11, and I won't be happy.
But would
Your experience will be cold from that point forward.
would we like to send them off in the stereotypical way we end our phone calls?